Let's bring in Media Research Center contributing writer Stephanie Hamill and District Media Group President Beverly Hallberg. Thank you both for coming on. Stephanie, to you first. Let's start with the X post, the Twitter post from President Biden saying, quoting here, looks like Donald Trump just won Iowa. He's the clear front runner on the other side at this point. But here's the thing. This election was always going to be you and me versus extreme MAGA Republicans. So it's not what I've done for you, it's what MAGA Republicans will do to you, Stephanie.
It's absolutely absurd for President Biden to tweet this. Why? Because number one, only 1 out of 3 American adults support the job he's doing, his job performance. And being divisive like this and demonizing those who have supported President Trump and or the other half of the country, if you will, isn't going to bring people to your side. It's very unpresidential, if you will. Instead, he should be talking about policies and how he's going to reverse course to make the lives of the American people better.
Yeah, we talked about the media backing the president, Beverly. Here's Joy Reid on MSNBC saying that all Christian Trump voters are racist. Watch.
All the things that we think about electability, about, what are people gaming out, or none of that matters when you believe that God has given you this country, that it is yours, and that everyone who is not a white conservative Christian is a fraudulent American.
I said racist. I meant evil and racist, Beverly.
Yeah, don't forget both of those words. Got to get them both in. And look, when you hear this, it's not surprising that when you take a look at the public's level of trust in the media, it's below 20%. Not only because they report on stories like Russian collusion, which didn't prove to be true, or suppressing information about COVID, the origins of it, or masking, but because they demonize their own readers or the people who they want to read their stories. It's really been fascinating to see that media outlets think that they should take it upon themselves to scold the American people about what they think instead of focusing on just putting out information and facts and letting people decide for themselves.
And speaking of MSNBC, I want to play this soundbite from Rachel Maddow because she's explaining to people, she's explaining why they had to cut away from the former president's victory speech in Iowa, because they just can't cover that kind of stuff. You can't let people decide for themselves. You have to tell them what they're supposed to think. Watch.
There is a reason that we and other news organizations have generally stopped giving an unfiltered live platform to remarks by former President Trump. There is a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things.
They specialize in broadcasting untrue things, Stephanie. I mean, I've gone over this before again and again, but your talk.
Well, their credibility is already wounded, right, with the Russia collusion hoax and the Hunter Biden laptop story, among so many that we don't have time to list on this show. So you think that they would sit down and think, you know what, maybe we should try to work harder to gain credibility so that we can get people to start watching us again and taking us serious. No, but instead they're tripling down. They're not just doubling down. They're tripling down by completely censoring a presidential candidate that obviously people like. Let people listen to the candidates and then let them decide. The American people aren't stupid.
Right.
If the rhetoric is so bad, let them hear it for themselves.
Yeah, it's a live speech from the former president of the United States, and they're censoring it. And Jamie Dimon, Kevin Corke played a little bit of this, but J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon said, listen, this is a dangerous path to go down. Watch.
I wish the Democrats would think a little more carefully when they talk about MAGA. Just take a step back, be honest. He was kind of right about NATO, kind of right about immigration. He grew the economy quite well.
China virus.
Tax reform worked. He was right about some of China. This negative talk about MAGA is going to hurt Biden's election campaign.
He's right. I mean, it's going to hurt. You have to run on your record, Beverly, at some point in time. Otherwise, you're just beating up the other guy.
Well, it's not even that he's beating up Trump. He's beating up the people who are voting for them. It actually reminds me of the Hillary Clinton basket of deplorables moment, which was devastating for her. This seems to be what the Biden administration wants to do, not just run against Trump, but run against half of the American people. I think it's a losing strategy for them. You don't knock the voters, but yet that's what they seem to think is their winning message, because as you said, focusing on his record is not going to work too well for Biden, since not many people like the job he's doing.
Beverly Hallberg, Stephanie Hamill, thank you both. Well, brand new tonight, we have